One thing I've wanted to talk about for months, most of this year, is how lazy I think social media and digital communications has made creators and artists, and how I find it something of a contradiction that artists want to create a team of people that care about their art, but at the same time don't care about people that care about their art. I've wanted to talk about this for ages, and today I'm not really going to talk about it either, because I've just put an apple and cinnamon slab of cake in the oven, and at the risk of sounding rude, I prefer apple and cinnamon cake than I like talking on YouTube. So I'm going to talk for 5 minutes. I'm going to give you 5 minutes of my time, and at the end of that 5 minutes, I am off. So let's begin. As you know, I work with a lot of creatives, a lot of artists. Many of them commission me to photograph them, principally singer-songwriters and bands. And one thing that has troubled me for quite some time is how there's a disconnect between where artists want to be and what they want to create and how they want people to care about their work. But on the other hand, in the same breath, when people engage with them online, on social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and it's often with generous, warm, supportive comments, all the artists tend to reply with is cheers, thanks. At best, at worst, they won't even reply, or they'll just like it. And I can't even explain how unacceptable stroke inconceivable I find that. I just find it odd. Just odd. And specifically this year, I've just made a conscious effort to just engage properly with people. And engaging to me doesn't mean thanks. It means actually, if someone says something quite meaningful, engaging with them on that same level of depth. Like if someone sends me like about 5 paragraphs of feedback on something, then I'll just dive in and ask them specifically, what do you mean there? Is that really what you thought? I never considered that. Like, why did you think that? And since I started doing that, the results have just been mind-blowing. Firstly, just to explain why I do this, like all artists, my success in terms of growth, development, reach, audience growth is only ever going to be determined on whether people can be asked. And if someone engages with me for the very first time and their only interaction with me is, or their only experience with me is cheers, they'll just fuck off. Let's be honest, there's 1,000,001 other CKs in the world, so, and none of them are probably going to be engaging properly with people who care. So I just think it's just critical. It just is. And since I've started doing this, as I mentioned, the results have just been nuts. Yesterday, for example, someone that discovered me through 61 Hugs, she's called Jess. She's really into poetry and spoken word, and she goes to a lot of events in South Yorkshire, Doncaster, where she's based, and Sheffield. And she knows I live in Sheffield, so she invites me to them. She's just started inviting me to watch her do her spoken word when she's in Sheffield. I've not been able to do the last 2 times she's asked me. God bless her, she's tenacious. She went to one yesterday, said, CK, you free? And I went, actually I am. And I went, we hung out, she's awesome. And the cake that's in the oven, by the way, I got that at yesterday's event. And I remember when she asked me, do you want to come and watch me do spoken word? And I thought, that's weird. No one ever reaches out and invites you out to place. And I thought, oh, fuck, yes, I do. And I went. And Jess is just so supportive of my content. Since she discovered me through 61 Hugs, she just tells people about it and she shares it onto a Facebook page. And the least I can fucking do is give her the time of day. I mean, hanging out and meeting her at a place might seem extreme to some people, but not to me. The venue wasn't that far from where I live, so why wouldn't I? I just think as creators, as artists, as insecure beings as we are, who fundamentally want people to like our shit, I don't understand when somebody does like our shit, all you feel worthy of replying with is cheers or thanks, or you don't give them fuck all. I just find it weird. And I want you to meet Shanna. Shanna lives in Los Angeles, and she watched my series, Vader, Video Every Day in April, through my YouTube channel a few months ago, and she sent me a tweet saying, "CCAM, getting on a plane to travel across the States," and I just downloaded all your videos and I'm going to watch it. And seriously, as an artist, when someone tells you that, that is just insane. And Shannon and I talk online all the time, and as a result, ooh, look, 45 seconds. As a result, look what Shannon's just sent me. As you can see from the postcode, I hope you can see the address there, Los Angeles. And I know what this is because I think I posted an image of it recently. Shanna has made me a hat. And Shanna has now sent me the hat. She recently asked me for my address. I don't know, you know, are we supposed to send people our addresses nowadays? Why not? So, I mean, ooh. Okay, on this instance, maybe the cake can wait. Alright, I get the gist. Alright. I mean, I have the world's biggest head, so it's very unlikely that this is going to fit, but I mean, seriously. Look, alright. I'm just going to leave that beeping because that's a permanent reminder that I have cake to eat. I like a, okay, it's not too bad actually. I like a sculpted peak, so I'm going to have to sculpt this peak. I do enjoy a sculpted peak. Let's, we also, ooh! Oh, alright. So we have, I'm not sure, alright. It's not going to kill me, is it? And, oh, alright, so we've got a green pair as well. A green pair. A message. Right. Seemingly, I'm going to have to eat cake and come back to this because I have a note and I have something else in here as well, and I think I know what that is. So I'm going to leave you with Shanna. This is a vlog Shanna sent me as or after she had watched my Vader Video Every Day in April series. It's self-explanatory. Hey Shanna, I'm going to go and eat some cake and I will return. Cake!
Hey CK, I'm back from my trip and I successfully binge watched the entire Veda series on the plane ride all the way from Los Angeles to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and I'm pretty sure the guy behind me was watching as well. But you killed it and you brought life to that flight. And you don't deserve just one Snickers bar, you deserve a lifetime supply of Snickers for doing that challenge. And I'm pretty sure my favorite quote was dandelions and reindeer. I will definitely be using that in the future. But I know I promised you a picture of me actually watching on the plane. And I did take a selfie, but I didn't quite get that full picture because the device I was watching on was my camera, or my phone, which is my camera. But you really did inspire me through that entire series, and something that really stuck with me is the sharing and not caring. And so I typically have a hard time talking to strangers in general, and I'm going to take this whole challenge. I'm not a creator or anything like that, but I am going to take this challenge for myself, and I have another flight coming up next week, which I will be binge watching something about strangers. And on that flight, I challenge myself to ask the person next to me to actually take my picture binge watching your series and have them email it to me so that I can send it to you, and just really force me to get outside of my comfort zone. So until then, here's my selfie, but more to come.
Okay, I'm back. This is like a weirdly comfortable hat. It's like really soft. It's really soft. I mean, I can't technically wear it with these things because my head is massive. I've always had a massive head, and I've always had a problem with caps. So this is a real squeeze, to be honest. But I think I can just about make it. Fasten at the back. It's fastened. I'm all over this, to be honest. Apple and cinnamon cake. Oh my god. Shanna has sent me this, additional to the hat. Sending a hug in a box. 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 You just listen to Shanna. And we have celebrating 61 hugs. We have tracks 1 to 30 and 30 to 61. Let's get the hug started. CK is life. I think that says sipping on tea. I'm all about the tea. She knows me. Now, I literally expected to open the box and see the hat, and that was it, but I have this. And we have the glasses, which you've previously seen. They, from now on, shall live here, by the way. Obviously. And in amongst all the tissues, I know, I've not looked at it yet, but I know that this is going to be Snickers. I knew it. Snickers. Oh, 3 Snickers. If you've been following my Facebook, this is like American Twix. This is American Snickers. It feels different. Oh, broken the cake. This feels different. This is American California Snickers. I've heard US chocolate tastes weird, so I'm fascinated by how this is going to be. But wow, this will sound horribly planned and premeditated. Do you see me? I was like, literally, this is all well and good, but where's the money? Yeah, this will seem horribly contrived, but I knew there was a hat in that box, and I knew that it would tie in somewhat seamlessly with my whole narrative about how artists and creators really, if your objective is to create or develop a community of people that care about your work, that tell people about your work, that care about it and you, it's your obligation to engage with people properly on social media. And I think social media is just made us lazy. And I feel it myself sometimes. You know, a smiley face is so much more convenient and hassle-free than a full-on sentence. But, you know, if you have people that are constantly engaging with you, then you need to start engaging with them on a proper level. Especially if your objective, like mine, is what I outlined in my video Every Day in April series. Do you remember when I said this? Well, this hat is that my ambitions for me as a writer and presenter are fucking global. I know that sounds ridiculous, but
no, we all got high ambitions.
I feel like I'm getting somewhere because I've been featured in certain places, but in the main scheme of things, I'm an unknown. But I want to change that very quickly. So that's why, like, I'm committing to making content that's different. I'm a nobody, right? But I plan to change that very quickly, which is why I've been so relentless with 61 hugs, and I've just been, you know, I've discussed this on Instagram specifically about how as artists we're often paralysed by putting ourselves out there, and we curl up into a ball when suddenly something's going well, and that just stops the momentum. But I've just taken the complete opposite view. I've just run towards fear, and I've been somewhat relentless with sharing and communicating the story of 61 hugs, and I've not even scratched the surface yet. I've got some festival appearances and screenings to share with you next year. I can't talk about them yet, and yeah, I genuinely don't feel like I've scratched the surface of 61 hugs. But this isn't about 61 hugs. This is about artists, creators, and the people that care about them, and how it's our job to care about them and make it quite clear that we care about them, because beautiful things like this happen. Snickers happen. Hats happen. Sunglasses happen. And this shit happens. Oh. Oh my god. I don't understand how something can be so moist.